Hello, welcome to Art and Yoga from Home, brought to you by Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in Utica, New York. I'm Mary Murray, Curator of Modern and Contemporary Art. It's my great pleasure to participate in this program, and I'm delighted that you're here as well. Thank you. I'll begin with a brief chat about a photograph in the museum's collection by Mel Rosenthal, and at 10:30, yoga practice begins with our wonderful instructor, Jerry George. And please make a donation if you're able, and that will help support this class. Thank you. June 20th is World Refugee Day. The United Nations has designated the theme for this year as Every Action Counts. And I read from their website. This year, we aim to remind the world that everyone, including refugees, can contribute to society, and every action counts is the effort to create a more just, inclusive, and equal world. And that's a very timely message at such a volatile moment. Utica has a reputation for welcoming people from all over the world. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, in that great wave of immigration, the city saw people from Ireland and Germany, Poland, Italy, Lebanon, and Syria arrive here and establish residency. And since 1979, the center is a resettlement center for refugees who are escaping war and other terrible crises in their countries of origin. In 1979, the first wave of refugees were escaping the aftermath of the Vietnam War from Southeast Asia. And in the 1980s, there was a group from the former Soviet Union. In the 1990s, there was an influx of Bosnians escaping the war with Serbia. In the new century, the center has helped resettle people from Nepal and Iraq, from Sudan and Somalia, and Burma, Myanmar. Mel Rosenthal created long-form photography portfolio in a photojournalist kind of tradition. He created a project he called In the South Bronx of America between 1975 and 1983, documenting the everyday lives of people who were living against what he described as a backdrop of rubble and razed buildings in what was a planned project called urban shrinkage from the 1960s to the 1980s, a way to eradicate residential neighborhoods to create industrial parks. He photographed Cambodian children in the South Bronx, and from there, he expanded his project in that direction to create what he called a new portfolio called Americans by Choice, the Refuge Project. And in that case, he traveled around New York State, photographing women, Hmong women in traditional garb in Syracuse, and Bosnians and Kurds in Binghamton. And of course, people in Utica. In the late 1990s, Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute hosted an exhibition of Mel Rosenthal's photographs, and they included images from our own residents from Utica working in various jobs, like this woman whom we see. And Mr. Rosenthal donated 4 of these portraits of Uticans to the museum's collection. it's interesting to note that refugees pay back every advance they receive, and that helps them establish their credit. I also would like to say that while Mr. Rosenthal's exhibition was on view here, my colleague Barbara Kane in the education department arranged for a citizenship swearing in ceremony to take place here at the museum, and it was a very moving experience, something that I think those of us who were born to these rights and expectations were reminded of the great benefits and privileges of living in the States. And Utica continues to be an important resettlement center. And we have seen now over the past generations the establishment of families and communities. One of the stories that I love most of all in this resettlement city is the Methodist Church downtown that saw its congregation aging out, and it sold in a ceremony its church to the Bosnian Islamic Cultural Center. So now we have a mosque downtown. We have seen the children of refugees grow up to be professionals in healthcare and education, people becoming entrepreneurial, as opening restaurants and establishing other businesses. Home ownership has stabilized neighborhoods, and we all benefit from the influx of these rich traditions into Utica's multicultural history. Those of you who participate in art and yoga know that I like to include a poem, and this week nothing else seemed appropriate except for Emma Lazarus's The New Colossus. And I'll just read a little bit of it. I hope you'll read it on your own. She speaks of a mighty woman with a torch, her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Thank you again. Until next time, namaste.